Hello everyone, this is Sachin Kumar, and from the title you got that in this presentation I'm gonna present antimatter. So if anyone need this presentation for their college or school seminar, they can download it from the link in the description below. So without wasting any time, let's get going. Okay, so here in this presentation I will explain antimatter in this way. First, what is antimatter, example of antiparticles, where is antimatter in the universe, and all. So in this way I will keep going on. So now first thing is, what is antimatter? Okay, so antimatter is opposite of normal matter. More specifically, the subatomic particle of antimatter have properties opposite to those of normal matter. Well, to understand antimatter, one need to know more about matter, that what is matter. Okay, so what is matter? Well, matter is defined as matter is something that has mass and takes up spaces, and in this universe everything is made up of matter. Okay, so here we put an atom of matter, and in this atom nucleus is inside the atom and electrons are revolving around this nucleus. So similar thing happen in antimatter atom. In antimatter atom, antinucleus remain in center, and anti-electron, that is positron, will revolve around this anti-nucleus. Okay, so here we are comparing between matter and antimatter. So matter is material composed of particle. Everything in this universe is made out of matter. Example like earth, plant, star particles, like leptons, quarks, neutrinos, and electrons. These are made up of matter. And antimatter is material composed of antiparticles, which have the same mass as particle of ordinary matter but have opposite charge. So antimatter are made up of antiparticles, and antiparticles have same mass as particles but they have opposite charge. So let's see some example. Like anti-earth, maybe in this universe there exist anti-earth in this universe, we have no idea, but maybe. And on that anti-earth there may be anti-planets, and somewhere in this universe maybe anti-stars. But these antiparticles like anti-leptons, anti-quark, anti-neutrinos, and anti-electron, that is positron, does exist in this world, in our universe. Okay, now the thing is annihilation. What is it? So when matter and antimatter meet, they annihilate and destroy each other. So just like in this picture, we can see that electron and positron is opposite particle of electron. When they meet together, they annihilate each other and produce 2 gamma photon, that is energy. So here in this picture we can see that what happen if matter and antimatter come together, they will produce a lot of energy. Well, actually this is not the picture of annihilation, I just put it here to visualize that what happened and how the energy is produced when matter and antimatter come together. Okay, now next thing is, where is antimatter in the universe? So the Big Bang should have created equal amount of matter and antimatter. So why is there far more matter than antimatter in the universe? Well, we can understand this question just like this. A tiny portion of matter, about 1 particle per billion, managed to survive. This is what we see today. So we have no idea that how this small amount of matter was able to survive. But yeah, this amount of able to survive, and everything in this world is made up of that small amount of matter. Okay, now here we will discuss some stages of discovery of antimatter. So first thing is, Dirac's equation predicts antiparticle. So in 1928, British physicist Paul Dirac wrote down an equation that combined quantum theory and special relativity to describe the behavior of an electron moving at a relativistic speed. But the equation posed a problem. Just as the equation x square is equals to 4 can have 2 possible solutions. First one is x is equals to 2 and x is equals to minus 2. So Dirac interpreted the equation that for every particle there exists a corresponding antiparticle exactly matching the particle but with opposite charge. For the electron, there should be anti-electron identical in every way, but with a positive electric charge. So Dirac interpret that this equation have two possible solutions. First one is x is equals to 2 and second one is x is equals to minus 2. So he predict if x is equals to 2 represent matter, then there must be something that is opposite and represented by x is equals to minus 2, that is opposite to matter, and that is opposite to matter is known as antimatter. So and another thing is positron was discovered by Cole and Duncan in 1932. So positron is nothing but opposite particle of electron, and further antiproton at California University was produced in 1955 in a betatron. And now the most important thing of this presentation is alpha. So what is this? Well, alpha is a name of experiment in which scientists was able to make anti-hydrogen, and they trapped anti-hydrogen using magnetic field so that it may not be in contact of matter. As you know, when matter and antimatter combine, they will annihilate and destroy and produce energy. So this anti-hydrogen is stored in magnetic field. So alpha is a unique experiment at CERN antiproton deaccelerator facility, able to produce anti-hydrogen atom and hold them in a specially designed magnetic trap. Trapping anti-hydrogen atom allow them to be studied using laser or other radiation source. So now here I put picture of atom of hydrogen and anti-hydrogen. So in anti-hydrogen atom, like in hydrogen atom, proton is in the center and electron revolve around this proton. And in anti-hydrogen atom, antiproton will be in center and positron, that is opposite particle of electron, will revolve around this. And due to opposite charge, positron has opposite spin of electron. Now here I put some more point about alpha experiment. So in alpha experiment, try to create anti-atoms and start with anti-hydrogen because it is simplest one, well, to make. And to make anti-hydrogen, we need to combine antiproton and positron. So creating anti-hydrogen depends on bringing together the two component antiparticles. First one is antiproton and the second one is positron in a trapping device for charged particle. Since anti-hydrogen atom don't have an electric charge, the electric field for no longer hold them in a place. So instead, two superconducting magnets generate a strong magnetic field that takes advantage of the anti-hydrogen's magnetic property. So when anti-hydrogen made, then we will store it by using the magnetic field so that it cannot be in contact of matter. And another thing is about alpha experiment. In June 2011, alpha reported that it has succeeded in trapping anti-hydrogen atom for over 16 minutes. Like 16 minutes is not that bad. So it is so good, and this time is long enough to begin to study their properties in detail. This should give the physicists time to take measurement and to find more answer to the antimatter mystery. But we have still many questions like what is the effect of gravity on antimatter, whether it will feel downward force or not. Well, so theoretically we can say that antimatter and matter have same mass. So definitely antimatter will feel gravitational force, will act as matter in gravity. But it has not been experimentally demonstrated that antimatter behaves as matter under gravity. Okay, so scientists in CERN are working on it. And the name of the experiment is AlphaG. So in AlphaG experiment in CERN, scientists are working on it. Scientists are trying to find the effect of gravity on antimatter, and it is not that easy. Well, so yeah, another thing is advantages why we are making this antimatter. Well, one of the beauties of antimatter is its efficiency. Like when matter and antimatter combine together, 100% mass will convert into energy. Whereas in nuclear fission, about 1% of mass will convert into energy, and here 100% mass will convert into energy. So no wonder a tiny amount of antimatter can have such powerful effect. And using this property, like when matter and antimatter meet together, they will produce a lot of energy. We can use it as fuel and many things. Okay, so the use of this antimatter in medical field. So it does have a use in medicine, because a special kind of scanner called the PET, which stands for positron emission tomography, uses positron to go into the human body. So a special kind of scanner named PET, we use PET, and the PET used to scan the human body, and by using this we can find various types of disease in different part of bodies of human. So this is PET is using nowadays, but it has a high cost too. Okay, only one disadvantage we can say, and that is cost. It has a high cost. To produce 10 milligram of positron will cost around 25 into 10 to the power $7, right? And that is equivalent to $25 per gram. So one researcher of the CERN laboratory said that if we could assemble all the antimatter we have ever made at Earth and annihilate it with matter, we would have enough energy to light a single electric light bulb for a few minutes. Okay, so the most disadvantage thing in it is its cost. Its cost is about equivalent to $25 billion per gram. Okay, so now let's conclude this presentation. Okay, so the antimatter has the same properties of the matter except electric charge. And the second one is, when matter meet with antimatter, they immediately annihilate each other and produces a huge energy. And third one is, antimatter have useful use which can be used in future. Okay, so maybe in future we can use antimatter as a fuel in our spacecraft to explore this universe. Like, okay, so yeah, these are the different resources that I used for making this presentation. And thank you for your attention. And if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and like the video. And thank you.